Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up, My Legion Adventure, episode 63, and we get to meet Shadowlass. I'm excited. I was excited. I read them earlier. And we're covering Adventure Comics 365 and 366, so let's just hop to it. All right, Adventure Comics 365, cover date February 1968. Cover credits: Neil Adams and Irish Shanop. This is our first Neil Adams cover, and it is a beauty. There is this hand reaching out of this force field in this device, and there stands 4 Legionnaires and their friend Shadowlass and its Cosmic Boy Karate Kid, Superboy and Brainiac 5. The story is called The Escape of the Fatal 5. It's a 22-pager. Part 2 of that story is called Mocked by the Master. Writer-editor, Mort Weisinger. Plotter, scripter, penciler, layouts only, Jim Shooter. Penciler, Kurt Swan. Inker, George Klein. Letterer, Milton Snap, page 1 only. And maybe it's Morris Waldinger, but my reference material is very old. So, roll call: Cosmic Boy, Brainiac 5, Superboy, and Karate Kid. The villains, the Fatal 5. And for more data from the Grand Comic Book Database, including this lovely synopsis: the Legion is sent to Talok VIII to investigate its southern belligerents with its native hero in Shadowlass, and they fall into separate traps designated for each of them. It's a pretty standard Legion plot. This bad boy's been reprinted lots of times. We'll just stick with America. It's reprinted in The Amazing World of Comics 1974, number 9, in DC Blue Ribbon Digest 1980, number 8, in Legion of Superhero Archives, volume 7, December 1997. That's the one I did it. In Showcase Legion of Superheroes series 3 in 2009, and the Legion of Superheroes Silver Age Omnibus DC 2017 series, and that is 20. And this was on sale December 26, 1967. I bet my brother was happy when he saw this. This is a good comic. It's a really good comic, and I was really looking forward to kind of covering these. So, hold on one second. We're going to go page by page. Well, I had some big feels about this first issue, and all good. It's because remember last week it was a silly, funny little Legion of Super Pets. It was entertaining, it was cute, but it's not why I love Shooter's Legion. It's this kind of story. The great Neil Adams cover, I'll post that up on the socials before I drop, and it'll probably be my cover art for this issue. And you got this great splash panel where you see the 5 superheroes in their traps, and it's got this great narration boxes or caption boxes. Tales of the Legion of Superheroes. Give up, heroes. Help is not on the way. No escape for Karate Kid from the Jewel Jail. The pressure's on Superboy. Brainiac 5's in a tight situation, and the heat's on Shadowlass. And no hope for Cosmic Boy against Death Spheres. Trapped, doomed. You had it, Legionnaires. And there is more. But yet, where there is life, there is hope. But even should the superheroes manage to break out, they'll only find that they have been engineered the escape of the Fatal 5. So it gives it away in the beginning, but you don't really care because the art's just gorgeous. Page 2 is, all set up where they talk about how Talok VIII used to be this peaceful planet. Now they're warmongering and they're blowing up ships that go by. And the USP director's telling these 4 Legionnaires, and then they're introduced to Shadowlass, and they're like, well, and they ask, why are you our guide? Aren't you gone bad like the rest of them? She goes, no, I was off-world when this all happened. I can't get back on. And they go on this commando raid, and it's like a late 60s, early 70s war movie. They parachute in. They have to march with their backpacks through the desert, get around these barriers. It's this epic adventure with different set pieces. It's freaking amazing. I mean, it's so exciting. Them in these special suits. They've got their backpacks. It really reminds me of Planet of the Apes when Taylor and his crew are walking across the desert. They had this whole mission like the Dirty Dozen or something. They find an oasis. Then they're attacked by giant birds. And then we get to see Shadowlass use her powers. I mean, folks, I hope you're reading along, or if not, you remember these, or just take a look at them when you listen to this, because it's beautiful. They have these costumes that look like the Fremen in Dune that they disguise themselves in as natives, and they sneak into where the head honchos live, and then they get put in their traps. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages of them getting out. 9 pages of them, and these are like 4 and 5 panel pages. But the tension and the tension and the action just builds until there are fewer and fewer panels. There's no more than 5. So you get to see their journey from trapped to helpless to finding a way out, and how each one of them finds their own way out using their powers or special abilities. And it is stunningly drawn by Kurt Swan. And it's amazing. And then you find out that the bad guys were all being manipulated by the Fatal Five, and then we have a cliffhanger. It's amazing. I mean, I just can't gush about this one. And the next one's just as good. Let me give you some of the pertinent data, and I'll talk to you about part 2. First from the Legion Index. Okay, Adventure Comics 366, cover date March 1968. Neil Adams, Irish Shop cover. It's a good cover. Neil Adams, Irish Shop. Superboy's battling Valdis in the boxing ring, while the Fatal Five and the Legionnaires watch from the side. This story is called Fight for the Championship of the Universe. It's a 24-pager. Part 2 is called Showdown for Shadow Lass. Credits Mort Weisinger, editor plotter, scripter, penciler Jim Shooter, layouts only. Penciler Kurt Swan, inker George Klein, letterer Morris Waldinger, page 1 and only. And then Gaspar Saladino does the rest. Roll call, Cosmic Boy, Brainiac 5, Superboy, Karate Kid, and new member at the end, Shadow Lass. Woohoo! All right, the Grand Comic Database has a great little 2-sentence synopsis. The Legion discovers that the Fatal Five were behind the belligerence of Talok VIII, while the Fatal Five head to Earth and its Universal Weapons Control Panel. But the Fatal Five discover they need a third key held at Legion headquarters to operate the weapon. By the time they get there, it is being defended by the returned Legion. And this was reprinted again, also Blue Region Digest number 8. Legion of Super Archives Volume 7, Showcase Legion of Superheroes 3, and Legion of Superheroes Silver Age Volume 3. So, and this was released on December 30th, 1968. I wasn't even 4. God. Again, just another great comic. It's got a great splash page where it shows the Fatal Five and the 5 heroes in like a boxing rink. And then you cut to where these armed... the planetary army, I guess, but they got looks like He-Man shields and swords, and the Legionnaires are trying not to hurt him, but Superboy gets slammed into a computer, and all of a sudden the people are like, whoa, what's going on? Hey, why are we fighting you? And you find out it wasn't greed and avarice. It was the people of the Talok VIII are peaceful. They were just duped by the Fatal Five and hypnosis, and the Fatal Five head to Earth, and they're these great, and I really like the art on this a great deal. It's a little different, it's a little rougher, it seems, at times, but I kind of like it. But again, they're laid out well. The action's good. You have flashbacks. They give you 2 or 3 pages with the Fatal Five. You get a full page Valdis wrecking havoc, and then 3 or 4 pages of them stealing stuff. And it's just really well done. It's a little sillier. There's a giant newspaper robot, but it's one of those, I don't know. The earlier Jim Shooter ones, like Surprise Mysterious, they were they had bigger casts. And I think as he went down to smaller casts, like when the first Fatal Five story in this is, that you don't need all 30 of them in it. You can just kind of mix and match and make a team of your please. And this is a great 5-member team, and it's a great little story. There's battle scenes. There's them outwitting each other, and you get to have Shadow Girl save the day by using her powers. And it ends on these great two panels where they've been awarded something, and the 5 of them are walking away with their medals. Karate Kid goes, decorated by the president, not bad for an ordinary day's work. And Shadow Lass goes, the first of many days of work as a Legionnaire. And Brainiac 5 going, and there'll be enough work for us all to go around. And then they see their shattered headquarters from the battle, because it's just basically one long battle. This is a great two-parter. I love these. We're about to cross a line where I don't really know that I've read everything. I know that we're getting to the first Dark Circle story, which will be fun, and that's great. Well, folks, that's it for this week. I don't know if there will be an episode this week. This one's going to go up on Friday late. I'm going to see Rent at Virginia Commonwealth University with my wife. We both had a rough week, and I'm glad. We're going to have dinner with friends, and then a show, and then home and asleep. And I have a busy Sunday because we're opening a brand new hospital here in town, and I have to be at work. But folks, as always, be safe, be smart, be kind to everybody, and read some comics, especially the Legion of Superheroes.